Rami, you're very, very welcome to Thurles, County Tipperary, the home of hurling, even though that's much disputed. But listen, you've come all the way from Canada. Rami is the chief exec, president, founder of Push, very popular training, external monitoring training device, now being advanced literally every week of the year. We're delighted you're here. But will you tell us what are you doing in Ireland, and maybe fill us in the broader picture with Europe as well?
Yeah. Well, I'm here in Ireland for a very specific reason. The weather. It's always really beautiful and fantastic in Ireland, so I'm here for that. But beyond it, I'm here because I'm absolutely delighted to meet you, Liam, and really get to learn a lot more about the hub here in Ireland in terms of sports science, strength and conditioning. And also because I'm really happy to announce that we are partnered with the Irish Rugby Union, and we have basically been traveling throughout Ireland this week, me and a few of our staff, to make sure that every single team gets equipped with push technology, gets onboarded, and has all the equipment that they need to really be able to kind of bring everything under one umbrella on one platform.
Yeah, that's really interesting. One umbrella, bring things together, integrate.
Yeah.
I suppose our world has been siloed and discrete. How do you think Push, and do you think Push can play a big role in that?
Yeah, absolutely. The way we've kind of architected the system right now is we really focus on building the most seamless and easy to use hardware product to collect data on the fly and provide athletes and coaches with feedback on the floor, on the training floor. But also we've built a complete online cloud solution that's able to consolidate that data. So whether you're working with athletes on the spot, in the moment, in the weight room, or you're working with athletes thousands of kilometers away, you're able to capture the exact same data, and you're able to really optimize the program based on the results that you're seeing, the objective data that you're capturing with Push.
I can see how not only the IRFU, but all other codes as well, Gaelic, hurling, and soccer, integrating information, integrating the same type of information can be a powerful, powerful tool.
Yeah.
But it's only fairly recently that that's come about as a reality.
Yeah.
Rami.
Yeah.
But your original inspiration for example, the Push device, where did that come from?
Yeah, it's a great question, actually. It was from my own personal experience. I've played rugby growing up in high school in Canada, played soccer, and I've always loved sports. I've learned pretty early that I'm not particularly talented in any of them enough to take it all the way to the pros, but luckily I had a knack for engineering and science throughout my younger years, and I ended up enrolling in a specific program at the University of Waterloo in Canada that's focused on sensor engineering. It's called mechatronics. Through that program, I got really first-hand experience in how to leverage accelerometers and a broader field of sensors called micro-electromechanical systems, which essentially basically means how do you miniaturize mechanical systems at a large scale, put them into chips, and use them to extract data around the world around us and sense it. That really obviously opened up my eyes to the power of what sensors and technology were going to be able to do in the next few years as I was studying in the early 2000s. But it also, when the moment came and I learned about VBT and I was introduced to the different technologies that were able to capture it, the two clicked automatically. I knew that accelerometers are more than capable of delivering what we need in the weight room in terms of measurement. And at the same time, I knew that we could build something here that could also leverage the fact that we were seeing this revolution of smartphone technology to not only create really miniature, affordable, easy to use sensors, but also build the software solution that'll be very easy for coaches to view and interact with and collect the data with. I wanted to solve two problems basically in one go. I wanted to make sure that the technology can capture accurate, reliable, easy to use metrics in the weight room, but then also build the software that can make it easy to visualize, easy to store, so you don't have to write things down on a piece of paper or type things back into Excel and spend hours doing that afterwards.
Yeah, a lot of what you said tidies up the role of the S&C coach or the analyst or the performance scientist, because copious amounts of attending to a device can detract from the main focus, which is you and your athlete. And so that's one great benefit, but there are many others. And how do you see Push adding to improving performance? What is it that, as we've said, look, tidying up Getting precise and accurate, reliable information, crucial. But what is it? What would you do to sell the system, let's say, to the local Tipperary hurling team? What do you? How would you persuade Michael Ryan, the head coach of the Tipperary hurling team, and the strength and conditioning coach Kieran Keogh?
Yeah.
How would you explain to them how push, or the nexus, maybe it's the next generation, but how push can help them?
I think at the core there is a philosophical argument, right? You can't improve what you can't measure, right? If you're looking to improve in any specific field in the world, no matter what it is, I would say sport especially, you need to understand how the athlete is doing, and you need to be able to know exactly what are the metrics that you need to drive, how do they translate to the performance on the field, and work back from that, right? And when you do that, you realize very quickly that the weight room has a massive impact on the sport. And when you start thinking about that, you realize, well, what am I doing in the weight room here in training to actually get my athletes to be in the best shape possible for the game, right? And that's kind of where our technology comes into play, because it really helps you make sure that every single minute your athlete spends in the weight room, they're getting something valuable that will not only help them get better, but also, more importantly, also make sure that you're not actually slowing them down. You're not detracting them from becoming the best that they can be. And that's, I think, what our technology, to be honest, a lot of other weight room technologies can do. That's you got to make sure that you focus on measuring things so that you can improve them over time.
We could go on all day about that concept you mentioned about making athletes faster, because ultimately speed is king.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
If you can retain your speed as you grow older, if you can improve it when you're at that window, that's really, I suppose, a bottom performance development. So I like the whole concept of the principles behind what push does. Because if you say, if you can't monitor, if you can't assess, well, how do you know how effective you are? One of the issues then is making it easy to use in more than just a linear movement in the gym, and you've gone on to that now.
Absolutely.
And you've gone on to it in your next product.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. Well, we have big ambitions at Push. We're a young and hungry company. We've been around for 5 years, and we're really thinking about what's going to be the next cutting edge thing in another 5 years from now. So we're building multiple different new products that can cater to that. I think kind of going back to what you were saying regarding measuring not only linear movements but others, our technology at its core is an accelerometer and gyroscope, and it's 6-axis for a reason. It can measure in all axes, X, Y, and Z. So that helps us be able to kind of move away from strictly measuring specific exercises in the weight room and into measuring all kinds of sport-specific movements as well. One of the latest features we launched into Push last year is this feature called free movement, which literally basically a coach can shoot any sport-specific movement, any explosive movement, and automatically get a velocity index or an acceleration index on that movement. What that enables a coach to do is you can track a specific movement and compare repetitions very quickly and have the athlete see real data indicating how this specific rep changes and is different in terms of output from another rep before it. The beautiful thing about this is you can use it for two key things that you want to make sure that you work with your athletes on. You can use it as a coaching cue tool. You have video now with real hard data backing it up to show how this technique produces way more acceleration or velocity. Going back to what you're saying, speed is king. The faster you can be, the more effective you are, the higher chance you have of winning. And the other aspect as well is you can use it for competition. You have a group of athletes. How do you make sure that they're motivated to really train and get the most out of them in that specific session of the 60 minutes that you have with them? That's a way to do it. You have real data that you can visualize.
So we've gone into something very important here. We've gone into the march of technology forward. And as you said, you're at the cutting edge. There's products coming out and will be coming out over the next few years that will start to give precision of measurement. No, we'll continue to give more precision of measurement, more insight, more data. And then again, that poses a challenge. But also, it's to facilitate that coaching element. So I think what we're looking at is the performance science, the technology on the one hand, and then the ability to use that to move the performance of the athlete in front of you forwards.
Yeah.
So would that be a key goal of yours?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's too. We develop the technology so we can track accurately what's happening in the weight room. But fundamentally, the ultimate goal here is to enhance the relationship between the coach and the athlete, right? So that's why we focus on two key things. We want to make sure that we're producing technology that gets real, actionable, useful data.
Yeah.
But then we also want to make sure that the experience is as seamless as possible, as invisible. The ultimate technology, I think, sport tech, and where it's really going to go 10 years from now, is going to be completely invisible. It's just going to be coach, athlete working together, and data behind the scenes being captured to help reinforce and validate the coaching.
Yes.
Rather than necessarily intervene or interrupt the flow of coaching. And that's kind of where we would like to go with it. That's where I see it going.
Yeah, it reminds me of back in the 1980s when Dietmar Schmidt-Bleicher, Carmelo Bosco and Dusan Hamar and these
The
old
originals,
professors, these original would come together and speak about this.
Yeah.
They would have a vision of this,
Yeah.
but they didn't have the technology back then, but they had the mindset, and so it's coming to fruition.
Yeah.
Listen, Rami, we're going to wind up here because you have a hectic schedule. Where are you off to after here?
I have a pretty busy schedule. So this is my first real trip to Ireland. I've just capped off a week of visiting this beautiful country and really seeing all the different parts of it: Belfast, Dublin, Galway, Limerick. I have one day of rest on Saturday, and then I'm off to Liverpool, the UK, and I'm going to be driving all the way through down to London and then flying back to Canada. But I have a feeling this is going to be the first of many.
Well, listen, we wish you every luck and
Thank
travel
you.
safely, and we hope to see you back in Ireland again soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much,
It's a
Rami.
pleasure.